Yes. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell for me. So, man, David Benavidez. Excuse me for being in the car. We're in the car today, man. Man is moving. I'm working all day. But I didn't want to wait till the end of the day to give my reaction. I still want to have it fresh in my mind. I'm going to be real with you, man. I didn't pay for it. I couldn't pay for it, dude. $80 is too much. But I did end up watching the fight. David Benavidez is special. Man, hats off to David Benavidez. That's the first thing. I just want to start off with that. He's special, man. He's really special. Like, I get it. People may try to downplay the win. Well, he sparred a bunch of rounds with Zurdo, so he's familiar with them. He still beat Zurdo. At the end of the day, it's different when you're under the bright lights, when there's pressure, when you have to perform live. Fans are expecting live drama, and you have to get in there and do your thing and perform with small gloves, no headgear, nobody to save you. You just got to go in there and be a dog. And Benavidez took care of business from start to finish. I mean, the hand speed, everybody's been saying it. The hand speed is scary. Scary. For a dude his size to be that fast is absolutely scary. So just hats off to Benavidez for just a dominant performance from start to finish. People say he can't punch. That narrative's dead to me. People need to stop with the whole idea that because a guy doesn't have the one hitter quitter knockout power, he doesn't have the ability to hurt guys and that his punches don't hurt. Even someone who's considered feather fisted like a Mayweather or a Joe Calzaghe, there's a reason why those dudes never lost. Those punches hurt. There's a difference between a punch not hurting and someone lacking concussive knockout power. But I think Benavidez's power is very, very good. And when you marry that with his speed, it's game over. Like the boxing cliche goes, speed is power. And when you're in there with a guy like Benavidez, I've sparred dudes with similar builds to him. Long, lanky guys who are super fast, and every punch they throw just hurts. You know, it can be a nightmare, and that's what it looked like it was for Zurdo. Zurdo looked like he was in a tumble dryer. He didn't know where the shots were coming from. He was getting hit from all kinds of angles. His brain couldn't process the speed of Benavidez's shots fast enough, you know, and that's what did him in. He couldn't keep up with the speed. Benavidez was just too fast for him, and it was a beauty to watch. Beauty to watch. People might say Zurdo quit. He did quit. He wasn't concussed. He wasn't out cold, but like a Dubois, you saw that eye. It turned into it looked like a balloon. Like the eye was so swollen, the skin was getting thinner and more attenuated. Like it was just it looked like a balloon. It looked like a glove filled with water or with ice or something like that. It was there was no feasible way for him to win. No shame in just taking the knee, living to fight another day. He was outmatched. He realized it. But I'm not gonna call Zurdo a coward, even though he did quit. Again, there's a difference between quitting and cowardice. Zurdo came to fight, and that's why Benavidez was able to put on a show and great matchmaking on the part of his team because Benavidez likes guys who come and stand and trade. He doesn't want somebody who's going to run, who's going to hug, who's going to look to move. He wants somebody to stand right in front of him and trade with him. And it was just a great performance. I don't have anything negative to say about Benavidez Benavidez's performance. The punch selection, the variety, the ferocity, the aggression, the power, the speed. He just had everything. The defense. Benavidez really impressed me with his defense. I think I said in the lead up to this fight that Benavidez is skilled enough, and I have to eat my words. He showed a lot of skill in there, a lot of skill. Very good head movement, knows how to use his guard very well, knows how to block, parry, slip, roll, pivot, can change stances. He was going from orthodox to southpaw, which was really throwing Zurdo off. Southpaws don't like fighting other southpaws. They like keeping it long, playing that fencing battle, with the lead hand. That's what they like to do. So putting that pressure on him by changing the stances was also a great tactic. But Benavidez is the guy, man. There's no mystery now why Canelo ducked that fight. I just gave Canelo some credit yesterday or a couple days ago, but it's so clear why Canelo didn't want that smoke. Canelo would have gotten hurt had they fought 5 years ago, and if they fought today, it'd be a massacre. Hence why he left early. He came to watch the fight, but then he left early because he didn't want to have that image of his face looking shook while Benavidez is calling him out. So it is what it is. The Canelo fanboys, they've been angry with me for a while because I've criticized their savior, but you can't argue with the facts. That's all we were saying. All we were saying the whole time is Canelo don't want that smoke with that boy for whatever reason. But now we know now. Now we know now. So where does Benavidez go from here? It's interesting. He called out Canelo. I don't really want to see that fight. I don't think any real boxing fan wants to see that. Would it generate a lot of hype, a lot of buzz, a lot of money? Yes. But that's not really the fight I want to see, I want to see Benavidez get in there with Jai Opetaia. That's the match to be made in the cruiserweight division. I think it'd be a great fight, a fan-friendly fight. I've heard some other channels say that Jai is sort of frozen himself out. I think the jury's still out on that. I think that Dana White, Turkey, Zuffa, I don't think they have any real principles. Dana White is all about, well, we don't recognize the other belts. We don't care about that. And our champion is undisputed. And he's trying to turn Zuffa into some sort of boxing UFC. But we all know that's not going to work. They're going to have to play ball with the other promoters. They're going to have to play ball with the sanctioning bodies. And a lot of the fighters signed to Zuffa are able to compete on Ring magazine cards. So it's still feasible to me that Jai Opetaia and David Benavidez can fight each other, especially if the money is right. If the money is right, I can see that fight happening. And prior to this fight against Zurdo, I was favoring Jai heavily. I have to admit that. Hands in the air. David Benavidez shut me up. Hands in the air. I've called him a weight bully. I've said I haven't been impressed with him when he was at super middleweight. But hands in the air. The last year and a half, culminating with this performance last night, hands in the air, Benavidez could give Jai Opetaia some real work. I think it's 50-50. I'm not going to say he's going to beat him. I'm not going to be a prisoner of the moment. But I am going to revise my prediction on that fight. I think that Benavidez has the speed. He might be faster than Jai. He might be faster. I think power-wise, they're about the same. I would say Benavidez's defense is underrated. He knows how to stay safe. He knows how to stay safe in the pocket. And so that's what's going to be interesting because Jai kind of has that Usyk Bivol-esque, that Soviet-esque type bounce. He moves in and out of range. Jai seems to like to keep it long, like a typical southpaw. Even though he's aggressive and can slug it out, Jai likes to keep it long. But Jai can get reckless. We saw that in the David Nika fight where he got clipped and almost got put down. And I don't know if Jai has the inside game to compete with Benavidez. Benavidez is fast at at close range, which is something you don't really see that often, especially from big guys. He's very, very, very fast at close range. But he also has a good jab, good straight right hand, throws good straight punches, throws great hooks. Very creative with the combinations. Just throws different number sequences that you don't normally see. You know, he's not just a straight up 1, 2, 3, type dude. He's throwing a 2 and then he's switching southpaw, throwing it as a lead jab, and just doing all kinds of creative things that confuse and confound his opponents. Now, Jai is a different kettle of fish. I've always thought Jai would beat Zurdo, hence why Zurdo never took that fight, because I think he knew deep down he couldn't win. So he took the money fight. He took the money fight in an all-Mexican clash against David Benavidez. More money, less shame in his mind. Like, okay, I lost to the best. And it is what it is. But Jai Opetaia is definitely a cut above Zurdo. But watching David Benavidez these last, I would say, 18 months, and seeing some of the vulnerability demonstrated by Jai Opetaia, I think that fight could be interesting. I think it could be very interesting. And that's the one I want to see. However, it does look like Benavidez is looking to go back down to 175 and fight Bivol. I'm not mad at the fight, but to me, I'm just not a fan of guys moving up in weight, winning a championship, and then immediately going back to their weight class. I'm not a fan of that at all. If you're going to move up in weight, at least clear out the division. Don't just take belts, hold them hostage, because I don't know if they'll have to vacate. And one of them, I think this is for the WBC, if I'm not mistaken. No, that's the other guy. That's Michaelian. No, it's not for the WBC. But still, I hope Benavidez doesn't hold the belts hostage and deny guys an opportunity. For me, I would rather see him unify. But if he's going to fight Bivol, that's not a bad consolation prize. It's a good challenge. Again, Bivol has quick feet. So that's what I really want to see. How does Benavidez cope with elite foot speed? I haven't seen him in there with anybody with fast feet. Zurdo didn't have fast feet. Yard didn't have fast feet. Vosdick did in his prime. He had good feet, but he was old, washed up, probably just fighting for money. We just saw him on a Zuffa card against Kalajic. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Hot Rod. And obviously he got stopped. So Vosdick was past it, so I'm not really that high on it. But David Morrell's not really a bouncy guy. He's not a typical Cuban. David Morrell comes forward, more of a pressure guy. So he doesn't fight like a typical Cuban. And shout out to David Morrell. In light of how Benavidez has beat up his last 2 opponents, David Morrell's performance against Benavidez is looking better and better. Those guys took beatings. David Morrell lost, don't get it twisted, but he didn't get beat up and stopped like Yard and Zurdo. Zurdo took it the worst. Maybe it's because Benavidez is fresher, doesn't have to deal with the weight cut, can just fight at his natural weight. That's a possibility. But, David Morrell is solid. But getting back to the point, I don't know how Benavidez will deal with the bounce of a Bivol or a Jai Opetaia, whoever he chooses to fight next. So that'll be interesting to see. But he can beat both of them, man. I'm definitely a believer in David Benavidez. I think pound for pound, he might be top five. He might be top five. He keeps collecting these scalps. He doesn't have the big name, but he's beating all of the B plus guys. And if you're an A tier, top 10 pound for pound fighter, he's doing what you're supposed to do. These B tier guys who aren't bums, he's not knocking out bums. Yard ain't a bum. Zurdo ain't a bum. Vosic ain't a bum. Morel ain't a bum. He's not beating up on bums. Andrade's not a bum. Caleb Plant wasn't a bum. It's hard to find a bum to like the last 2 years on Benavidez's resume. He wants all the smoke, and he's fighting legit guys, ex-champions. But he doesn't have that A-list name on his resume. Like a Jai, like a Bivol, guys who are legit, especially Bivol. Bivol is a made man. He's a Hall of Famer already. Jai probably still has some more work to do, but I think he's a Hall of Famer in the making. So that'll be interesting. And then finally, I'm going to throw this out there to you guys and see what you think. Are there any interesting matchups for Benavidez at heavyweight against some smaller heavyweights? I'm just putting it out there. Like Usyk's already taking gimmick fights. Do I think Benavidez could beat Usyk? I give him a 30% chance. That hand speed is crazy. And we haven't seen Usyk fight a dude closer to his size. Yeah, he's a little bit bigger, but Usyk ain't that much bigger naturally than Zurdo. Usyk and Zurdo are roughly the same size naturally. So I'm just putting it out there. It might be fun. Maybe there's some opportunities for him. People were kind of mentioning that about Benavidez. Benavidez had kind of talked about maybe I'll go to heavyweight one day. And I just missed it. Like, nah, you're too small. You're good, but you're just too small. Dude's too big, too strong. But that hand speed, married with his IQ, married with his aggression, with his experience, with the confidence he has. I mean, he's been taking out really tough guys. Are there some smaller heavyweights? Maybe a Richie Torres? I'm just throwing it out there. Even someone like a Jared Anderson. I could see Benavidez coming in 210, 215 and giving it a go against some of these guys. Could he beat a Tyson Fury? Hell no, he's too small. Just too short. But could he beat some of these smaller heavyweights, guys who are 6'4", 6'2" to 6'4"? I think so. I think it'd be very interesting. He has the speed and he has the power to get these guys his respect. And I think we could make some fun matchups for him. But I'm just kind of riffing, man. Man's been working all day, so I'm a little tired. So it might sound crazy, but I'm just putting it out there. I've been thinking about it. Who knows? But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I'm out. Peace.